Hey there. So you are a non-tech founder. You got a great idea, but you're trying to figure out, should I try to build it myself and learn how to code? Or should I spend the money and reach out to a professional and have them build it for me? So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. My name is Chris McClure. I'm the CEO of McClure Dev Solutions. And let's dig in. Let's do a little pros and cons. Because one thing you're going to find out when you start talking to people in software, there's never 100% decisions. There's always trade-offs here. So you got to weigh this versus that. So let's get going. Let's talk about some pros to coding it yourself. One, the obvious one, cost savings. This is perfect for anyone who's pinched for money and doesn't have just stacks of cash around to hand off to developers. Now, granted, there's better ways. You don't have to spend that much on development, but in this case, you can save all the money yourself and do it. You can learn this in your spare time. This will give you full control of the application. So if there's something you don't like, if there's a way it's interacting, there's a button, there's a text on the screen, well, you can change it all. And the very cool thing about it is once you learn to code, man, that's a great skill to learn. But there's also some cons to it. Super time consuming. Not going to lie, programming, there's a steep learning curve. One thing that could come from this is you could take a tutorial, you could learn how to build a basic application, but there's always problems. And I know you talk to anybody in software, there's always issues, there's always bugs, there's always crashes, even for experienced developers. So you might have some problems with scalability. So as your application gets bigger, you're going to find some issues, or just in general, there are some tough problems to solve even for experienced software engineers. So if you're building it yourself, you might waste a lot of time on that. And there's an opportunity cost because while you're learning to code, while you're building this application, you could be out getting users. You could be out talking to customers, validating your idea, pivoting, building relationships, working with advisors. There's so many things you could be doing. So that's something to factor in. Now, if you want to hire a professional, let's talk about the pros. Number one, experience and expertise. So here's one I learned a while ago, and I always thought it was kind of a funny story. So let's go through it. You ever have your toilet clogged in your house? It's really bad. You can't figure it out. So you call a plumber. You go, oh no, there's no way they're ever going to fix it. They show up. 5 minutes later, good to go. Charge you $100 and you're flabbergasted. You're like, I paid $100 for 10 minutes of their time. Well, you didn't actually do that. You paid $100 for them to have 10 years of experience so that when they come to your house, they can solve your problem in 10 minutes, right? So that way it can be done, fixed, move to the next thing. Well, it's the same kind of thing with software. Sure, you can spend the time doing it yourself, or as a founder, a busy founder with a great idea, you can leverage people who know how to build software. So you can use your expertise, you can use their experience, and that's going to lead to a faster development time, which is cool because really you want to get this out as fast as possible because what inevitably ends up happening is your brilliant idea, you get it out there and you realize, wait a minute, I've got to tweak it. I've got to pivot it. I've got to turn it. And if you're spending all your time coding, that's a lot of opportunity lost right there. And also cool technical support and maintenance. So as time goes on, your application grows. If you have issues, if you need support, if you need changes, the team's there for you. Now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There are some problems. And generally, there's going to be a higher initial cost. You're going to have to pay somebody who knows what they're doing. Now, reach out to me. We can figure out a way to make this work. We can do some fractional CTO work, or I have a fantastic team. We could build it for you. One other problem you're going to have is you're going to have less control. If you're building it yourself, you know all the things that are going on behind the scenes. However, when you have someone else build it, it's a little bit of a trust game. Sure, you can go through it, but you have to trust that they're going to know what they're doing and you don't have that control. And one other communication challenge, and I'm going to talk about this more in other videos, the further your development team is away from the founder, not geographically, but in communication, that's where you start to have problems. And if you're not working with them consistently and they're off building and they come back to you every couple of weeks with something, there's a good chance that you might have a mismatch in expectations. So there's no one size fits all for should you do it yourself? Should you hire a development agency? So in that situation, like I say, I'm here. Come reach out to me. We'll go over it in a call and we'll see if we can find you the best possible situation to get your brilliant idea out there in front of people.